So we're going about our business and preparing for a great battle up front with those guys.
Number 90 for them, for Louisiana in the last game with Texas A&M, had a pretty good time getting in the backfield and stuff. What did you see out of him that it would allow him to get back there?
I think some of it was, he did a good job of using his hands, and Texas A&M had a breakdown. I know one time there was a miscommunication, and he was able to get in the backfield. But I think the thing that stood out to me, why he had success, he played really hard. He played really hard, and he gave great effort, and he was able to exploit some of his talents against them. So it'll be interesting, like you said, kind of to see where they put their pieces for their line this week.
McTelvin, I guess, would be a little further out than that guy would. I think he was mainly over the guard. But what do you expect out of McTelvin? Is he reaching his potential? What you thought out of him?
Well, I think from the first two games, I think he's done a nice job. But we always talk about SEC strain, SEC mentality. So here's your first SEC opponent, and you got an opportunity to do something you haven't done since you've been here, and it's to try to get a victory against Texas A&M. So I would expect him from that standpoint. It's SEC time. Now we got to take our game to another level. Those are my expectations.
A&M really wants to get that run game going, it looks like to me. What are the keys to slowing those dudes down?
Well, you got to the thing about A&M, they have three really good tailbacks, and they're really, really patient. So as a defensive lineman, you have to do a great job of holding your gap and playing in your gap. Some of the runs that I've watched them get on people, UCLA, Lafayette, and Nichols, defensive lineman is in the correct gap, and then it peaks too early and the back cuts it back. So you have to be really patient. You have to have your shoulder square in the gap, and you have to maintain your gap. You can't cross out of your gap until the ball has crossed the line of scrimmage. So that's a big key for us this week, is being gap accountable, staying disciplined in your gap. I say straining in your gap to try to prevent that. And then the back still may get some because they're very talented, but we got to try to limit that, being very, very gap disciplined up front.
Mond, it looks like he's kind of growing into the role. What have you seen of his progression from the UCLA to the last game?
The thing I noticed, he settled down a little bit, and he started to hit some throws in the Lafayette game. Obviously his skills as a runner was on display in the first and second game. He can run the ball, and he settled down, and he had some really, really nice throws in Lafayette. He threw some nice balls. So I feel like just off the tape, what I've seen the last game, he started to feel more comfortable.
What do you think about